Well, what is it?
Biggest thing ever happened in Mayberry. Real big. Big. Big, big.
If you love the Andy Griffith Show, this is the video for you. This is my deep dive into all things Mayberry, and I've got some great stuff packed into it, so I know you're gonna wanna watch all the way to the end.
Well, I sure want to see that.
If you're new here, I'm Mayberry Man producer Court Howell, and my father, Hoke Howell, was an actor on the Andy Griffith Show back in the 1960s. He played Dud Wash, the hillbilly boy who married Charlene Darling and had a run-in with Ernest T. Bass in season 3.
I'll show him a couple of things I learned in the Army in guerrilla warfare. First, you take your hair and you yank it around, and then you pick your head and yank it.
Now, in this video, we're gonna go behind the scenes with Clint Howard, Ron Howard's little brother who played Little Leon on the show, with some rare behind the scenes footage. We'll count down the best episodes of the series and rank our favorite lines from the show that we love to say in everyday life.
Shazam!
Plus, we'll highlight more than a dozen celebrities who appeared in Mayberry before they were famous. If you blinked, you may have missed them. Like I said, this is a deep dive, so let's get started and go behind the scenes with Clint Howard and take a trip to the fishing hole, Myers Lake.
Andy really knew what he wanted. He knew that he wanted that community. He wanted his town, Mayberry. And it was all done because people believed in the show, and they think that the show had value. And it does. All you gotta do is watch one.
I'm in the exact location where they filmed the show open to the Andy Griffith Show. That's right, many, many years ago. During pre-production of our feature film, Mayberry Man, a movie inspired by the Andy Griffith Show, I had a chance to chat with Clint Howard, Ron Howard's younger brother, who played Little Leon on the show. He was the one always trying to share his peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No, thank you, Leon.
I asked Clint to share some of his family's memories from the set, along with some rare behind-the-scenes footage. We even took a trip to Myers Lake.
You know, Leon's never been to Myers Lake. I think I'm gonna check it out. You know, I was curious about coming up here and seeing where they shot the beginning of the Andy Griffith Show, but I guess it's an active production zone here. And I could see why they would want to come here and shoot. It's, big old trees and it's nice. That was the thing, when they did the opening sequence, it wasn't like they spent a lot of time on it. The business has always been about efficiency. And, they would do an Andy Griffith Show in 3 days. They would rehearse for 2, and then in 3 days, they would shoot an episode. And, the days spent rehearsing and working on the material were days well served. If I see it on, if I'm flipping through channels and I see it on, I will stay with it, and 9 times out of 10, I'll stay with it till the end of the episode. They're really well done shows. And that's Reggie, the prop man. I do remember, especially when they went outdoors, when they shot, outside in Culver City, or they shot here at Franklin. It was kind of a big deal, and I think it was a good opportunity for Mom to get out of the house. So for a lot of times, I would be towed along. Of course, when you're 4 or 5 years old, you really can't say, no, I don't want to go. Bob Sweeney, who directed me later on in The Baileys of Balboa, he was the nicest guy and got the greatest vibe. He was the one that directed most of the episodes for the first 5 years. And I'm sure he's in there. The times, and this happens with a lot of shows, when they're mostly inside and they have a chance to go shoot outside, the crew is so happy to be outdoors. And it was such a break to actually spend a day where you're not in the soundstage all day, that everybody was always in a good mood. It's really interesting. I can't really pick them out. There was a time in the Andy Griffith Show, if you go back and see behind the scenes footage, the grips and the crew members all wore shirts and ties. I mean, they didn't look like grips. They looked like businessmen. It was the protocol. I appreciate the writing. The Andy Griffith Show was so well executed, and the messages were so good. They rarely had a weak episode, which is one thing that Ron identified as, like Happy Days, if they could get 2 or 3 good ones and the rest of them were okay, then they felt like they had something. If they could get like 3 good episodes a season. And the Andy Griffith Show's batting average was a lot better than that.
The Andy Griffith Show gave us 249 incredible episodes over 8 unforgettable seasons, packed with charm, humor, and heart. But which episodes stand above the rest? Today we're counting down the top episodes of The Andy Griffith Show, according to the fans. That's right, these rankings come straight from the ratings on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, so the people have spoken.
We defy the mafia!
Will your favorites make the list? And is your number one the same as ours? Let's find out as we dive into the ultimate countdown of the all-time best episodes of The Andy Griffith Show.
You ready? Let her rip!
Coming in at number 10, it's Citizen's Arrest. With an audience score of 8.9 out of 10. In this hilarious episode, Gomer flips the script by making a citizen's arrest on Barney for an illegal U-turn.
All nutsy here come running after me screaming, "Citizens arrest! Citizens arrest!"
The same violation Barney just ticketed him for. This sends Barney into a spiral of overreaction, leading to his resignation as a deputy. As tensions rise, Gomer seeks to resolve the situation, showcasing the humorous dynamic between these two unforgettable characters. Next, at number 9, we have 3 Wishes for Opie. Also with a rating of 8.9. Barney's whimsical purchase of a fortune-telling game sets off unexpected events when Opie gives it a try. Mistaking the game for genuine magic, Barney believes he's summoned the spirit of a centuries-old count.
There are forces in the atmosphere that are able to control our fate.
Oh, come on.
Opie's innocent playfulness intertwines with Barney's imagination, leading to humorous outcomes in this spirited episode.
I have the following announcement to make. Count Istvan Teleki exists.
At number 8, from season 4, it's Opie the Birdman. Opie's innocence and compassion shine when he accidentally kills a mother bird with his slingshot.
Why? Please, why?
Taking responsibility, he raises her orphan babies with care and love until they're ready to fly free. It's a heartwarming episode showcasing the bond between a boy and nature, with poignant lessons about responsibility and letting go.
Cage sure looks awful empty, don't it, Pa?
Yes, son, it sure does. But don't the trees seem nice and full?
Next up, at number 7, it's Barney and the Choir.
As my old voice teacher used to say, a choir without its tenor is like a star without its glimmer.
Barney is invited to join the Mayberry Choir, but there's one little problem. He can't sing.
Not a lick.
As the choir suffers through his off-key singing, they struggle with how to handle the situation without hurting Barney's feelings.
See, you got a uvula, they got a uvula, I got a uvula, all God's children got a uvula.
It falls on Andy to devise a clever solution once again. Placing 6th on our list, it's Man in a Hurry, with a score of 9.0 out of 10. A businessman's car trouble leaves him stranded in Mayberry on a Sunday, where he grapples with the town's leisurely pace.
You people are living in another world.
As he tries to get his car fixed, he encounters resistance from the local mechanic who adheres to the Sabbath.
We'll tour it in tomorrow morning, get right on it.
The clash between his hurried lifestyle and Mayberry's simplicity unfolds in comedic tension, highlighting Mayberry's simpler life. It's the episode many fans say best captures the true essence of Mayberry.
And the little round church in the bay.
Breaking into the top 5, at number 5, it's Barney's First Car, with a rating of 9.1 out of 10. Mayberry buzzes with excitement as Barney enters the world of motoring.
300 easy clams from the sucker of the world.
Let's blow.
Bless you, Jake.
However, his joy turns sour when he unknowingly purchases a lemon from an elderly con woman who leads a ring of car thieves. With hilarious consequences, Barney learns a valuable lesson about the perils of buying his first vehicle.
Plugs, points, bearings, valves, rings, starter switch, ignition wires, water pump, fuel pump, oil pump, clutch bearings, clutch plates, brake lining, brake shoes, brake drums, radiator hose, and radiator hose cover.
Next, coming in at number 4, The Haunted House. When Opie and his pal hit a baseball into the old abandoned Rimshaw house, Mayberry's brave duo, Barney and Gomer, embark on an adventure to retrieve it.
Just the lighting, like Andy said.
However, eerie sounds and strange occurrences convince them that there might be truth to the ghostly tales.
Any old tramps down there?
I'm down there.
In the end, Andy cleverly exposes the real source of the spooky phenomena. Next, coming in at number 3, it's a fan favorite at 9.1, The Pickles Story. Andy and Barney try to spare Aunt Bee's feelings by pretending to enjoy her atrocious homemade pickles.
I don't know how I can face the future when I know there's 8 quarts of these pickles in it.
But their white lie snowballs when Aunt Bee decides to enter her pickles in the county fair.
Kerosene?
Precisely.
With humor and heart, the episode explores the complexities of honesty and kindness in Mayberry.
Mayberry says thanks and happy motoring.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Next, at number 2, from season 1, it's The Christmas Story. In what was the only Christmas episode of the series, holiday spirit clashes with the town's resident Grinch, Ben Weaver, who insists on locking up a moonshiner, Sam Muggins, on Christmas Eve.
You confessed. Now, you heard him, Sheriff. Lock him up.
Well, now, I know how you feel, Ben, but like I say, after all, it is Christmas.
Christmas. Ha!
Andy outsmarts old Ben with clever solutions that allow Sam and his family to spend Christmas together. And when old Ben Weaver witnesses the warmth and joy in Andy's jail, he longs to join them, leading to unexpected Christmas miracles in Mayberry. Before we reveal number 1, let's give a quick shout out to a few honorable mentions. Andy on Trial showcases the range of Don Knotts' acting talent and is frequently cited as a fan favorite.
As far as Andy knowing his job, I'd just like for you to take a look in the record book, Mr. Jackson. You know there ain't been a major crime committed in this town, thanks to Sheriff Taylor? The only ruckus you'd ever have in Mayberry is if you tried to remove him from office. Then you'd have a riot.
Mountain Wedding is one of our personal favorites here at Mayberry Man. After all, Dud Wash was played by my father, Hoke Howell.
Well, I'll show him a couple of things I learned in the Army and guerrilla warfare. First, you take your hair and you yank it around, and then you pick your head and yank it.
Stop that, boy. You want your face to freeze that away.
This episode also introduced Ernest T. Bass.
I'm a little mean, but I make up for it by being real healthy.
Featured fantastic music from the Darlings, portrayed by the real-life bluegrass band, the Dillards, and it's one of the most quotable episodes of the entire series.
More power to you.
Next, we should mention The Ball Game from Season 7. Ron Howard says it's his personal favorite because the story was written by his father, Rance Howard, based on a real-life event where Rance called Ron out at home plate in a pickup baseball game with his friends. And finally, we have the 5 times Don Knotts returned to the color episodes of The Andy Griffith Show during Seasons 6, 7, and 8.
Barney Fife, I'd like you to meet my husband, Gerald Whitfield.
These guest appearances earned Don Knotts 2 additional Emmy Awards to bring his total to 5 Emmys for his portrayal of Deputy Barney Fife in Mayberry.
We had some pretty good times, didn't we, Irene?
Oh, yes, I guess so.
Now for the number 1 episode of The Andy Griffith Show. With an IMDb fan rating of 9.3 out of 10, it's Convicts at Large. When Barney and Floyd run out of gas on a fishing trip, they stumble upon 3 escaped female convicts holed up in a cabin.
Hey, Chuck!
Don't worry, Maud's a very clever woman. She'll think of something brilliant. Just watch. There's nobody here!
Stranded and captured, Floyd and Barney must navigate the unexpected predicament as the colorful convicts hold them hostage.
She's a convicted husband beater.
Better watch it, Al.
This was the last episode filmed before Howard McNear, who plays Floyd, suffered a stroke that limited his mobility when he returned to the show. But not before McNear and Knotts gave us the best episode of the entire series.
We're home!
It also underscores the generosity and wisdom of Andy Griffith to allow his supporting cast to take the spotlight when it best serves the story.
You just got to relax and just flow with me. Let me guide you into the land of rhythm and pleasure.
And more than 60 years later, this wonderful episode continues to top the list for Mayberry fans.
Oh, hell! If those hamburgers are ruined, I won't be responsible.
Right from the beginning, Andy really knew what he wanted. He knew that he wanted that community. He wanted his town, Mayberry, Mount Airy, Andy's hometown. He wanted to keep that community spirit and that kind of everybody pulling for each other. He wanted to keep that right front and center. He wasn't listening to the networks. In fact, the network couldn't even give him notes. You know, things were becoming so urbanized. And yet the Andy Griffith Show came out and became successful, and the New York executives just didn't know how to note the story. They didn't, it was so off the map from what the networks were trying to do, and yet it was successful. And boy, I gotta give Andy a lot of credit for that, because he's the one that laid it out there, and he believed in it. He got to put a good team of people around him, and boy, and it was all done because people believed in the show, and they think that the show had value, and it does. If all you gotta do is watch one. Oh, look, there I am. Now, you know, those masks, Dad got a bunch of horror masks. A friend of his had a special effects house that went bankrupt, and they had to have a fire sale. And when I was probably 6 or 7 years old, Dad, to help the guy out, you know what, he went down there and bought some of the stuff. And it was all cheesy stuff from the 50s, but Dad had a whole collection of monster masks and all sorts of gizmos from like Ed Wood movies and stuff. And you know, our house was big fun. I remember Mom and Dad talking about what they were the color they were gonna choose to paint the inside of the house, and even the color of the wardrobe, because you know, when it was black and white, they didn't really care. And then they were hit with this whole Technicolor explosion, and it became a big tool, you know. Well, how do you spiff up the sheriff? You know, well, you can't put him in a clown suit. Dad was always a great sport because, you know, Dad, he parented like a parent, but there was a lot of kid inside of him, and he was always, if not dreaming, he was always speculating. Dad was a great guy, and boy, I miss him. And you know, I'm lucky because my business includes a lot of cameras and a lot of film and tape, and I'm so lucky that I have Dad and Mom in a lot of footage, because it's great for me to go back and look at this stuff. I mean, I don't think for a second I get jaded and I don't feel some pangs of emotion when I see home movies like this. You know, I also got to remember the time Mom is stomping her feet and screaming like a banshee. Those are things I also got to bring to the table, because that was part of the Howard family too. Because not every day is a happy, happy, happy day in the Howard family. Well, I'll tell you what, Ron and I give Dad the credit, you know, and Dad was with us nurturing us as actors and stuff, but Mom was really, you know, very powerful because, you know, she was right there for everybody too. She was the unsung hero, and, you know, she always had dinner ready. She may not have been the best cook in the world, and she grew up at a time when canned food was good, so we had a lot of canned vegetables at our house. which in retrospect was probably not the most nutritious thing in the world, but she did make us dinner, and she was there. And, you know, when Dad would go off and be a little, not go off, he would be a little aloof, you know, Mom could stomp her foot down and put order back in the house. This is where they shot The Neighborhood. That was fun to go and shoot, or to go and be outdoors, where they shot the streets of Mayberry. It was a blast. I always found it really exciting that, you know, show business streets aren't very long. Like a block is very short. And I could run down to the end of the block, and it was only like 3 houses, you know, back and forth. I like the compact nature of a back lot. I have great memories. You know, I'm the only person that when Ron got the dream to be a director, and nobody was giving him the time of day. When he was 14 years old, I was 9. When he was 15 years old, I was 10. And you know, we're real close. We were very close then. And you know, it gave him the nerve, not the nerve, it gave him the momentum. When people said no, it made him want to try harder. And that's one thing that Ron's done is, you know, Ron, from the time he first had his first opportunity, he has been putting his foot on the gas the entire time. And that is rare in this town. People that will be successful and then want to step up and do it again real quick. And you know, a lot of people like to have success for a couple movies and take a year off. And Ron always saw that as the kiss of death. And I think that he's pretty accurate. I think Ron's sort of workaholic nature, it's fared well for him.
It's always fun to see familiar faces in Mayberry, so let's count down 20 celebrities who showed up on the Andy Griffith Show before they were famous. Many of them went on to become major stars.
Hey, will you look what's getting off that bus?
Some appeared as major guest stars, while others played small supporting characters. You'll probably remember some, but I bet you'll be surprised by many of the famous celebrities who visited Mayberry during the classic show's original run from 1960 to 1968. Of course, we're not talking about series regulars like Andy Griffith, Don Knotts, Jim Nabors, or Ron Howard.
Nip it in the bud.
We're only looking at those who popped up once or twice, or perhaps a few times in different roles. Let's count them down. At number 20, we have Gavin MacLeod, best known as the affable Captain Steubing on The Love Boat, or as wisecracking news writer Murray Slaughter on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Gavin MacLeod made 2 appearances on The Andy Griffith Show. First, as part of a team of smooth-talking bank robbers, posing as television producers, making a TV show inspired by Sheriff Andy Taylor, the sheriff without a gun. In an ironic twist, the following season, when the show transitioned to color, the Taylors traveled to Hollywood to see the production of a movie based on that very premise. And the actor cast to play Sheriff Taylor in the film is none other than, you guessed it, Gavin MacLeod.
I think they're planning on springing Harry out of jail.
They'll have to kill me first.
I think that's what they got in mind, Sheriff.
Coming in at number 19, it's George Kennedy. Before he was winning an Oscar for Cool Hand Luke, George Kennedy appeared in The Andy Griffith Show in the final episode of Season 3, in The Big House.
Now here at The Rock, we have 2 basic rules.
Kennedy plays a state police detective who Barney mistakes as a bank robber. Another classic case of Barney's overzealousness leading to a mishap at the Mayberry jail.
Instead of capturing 2 more, you've now lost all 4.
Next, at 18, we have Larry Hovis. Hovis, best known for playing Carter on Hogan's Heroes, appeared twice in Mayberry during Season 5 as Gilly Walker. First, it was in Goober Takes a Car Apart.
Speed, speed, speed. That's all he ever thinks about.
Don't tell me how to drive, Goober.
And later that season, Hovis shows up again in The Case of the Punch in the Nose, reporting that Goober punched him in the nose after Barney's reopening of an old case creates havoc in the town.
Goober came out of the office and he hit me right in the nose.
At 17, we have Kent McCord. Before patrolling the streets of Los Angeles in Adam 12 as Officer Jim Reed, McCord made a brief appearance in an uncredited role in Season 5, Episode 8, Barney's Uniform. But don't blink, you have to be a trained noticer to pick him out in the judo studio when Andy visits Barney's judo instructor.
You stop that fight. That man killed Barney.
At number 16, we have Howard Hessman. Long before his days as Dr. Johnny Fever in WKRP in Cincinnati, Hessman appeared 2 times in Season 8. First as a counterboy serving Goober a hot dog at a car show in Raleigh. Then, later the same season, as Harry, a citizen of Mayberry being courted by Emmett, running for town council. Number 15 is Buddy Ebsen. He was already an established actor, but before he struck black gold as Jed Clampett in the Beverly Hillbillies, Ebsen appeared on The Andy Griffith Show as David Brown, a drifter who befriends Opie and becomes a negative influence.
Tuscarora!
In Opie's hobo friend, Andy is forced to confront Ebsen's character and send him packing.
Who's to say that the boy would be happier your way or mine? Why not let him decide?
No, I'm afraid it don't work that way.
Next, at 14, we have Alan Hale. Best known as Skipper from Gilligan's Island, Hale made his appearance in Season 2's The Farmer Takes a Wife. He plays Big Jeff Pruitt, a good-natured farmer who comes to town to find a bride.
Hello there, everybody!
Hale's larger-than-life personality was perfect for the role, and it's easy to see shades of the Skipper in his Mayberry character.
You're juicier than a barrel full of corn squeezes. Oh, hi, little buddy.
Speaking of Gilligan's Island, at number 13 is Bob Denver. Gilligan himself showed up in Season 4's Divorce Mountain Style, portraying Charlene's husband, Dud Wash, replacing Hoke Howell, who played the character in Season 3.
Come on now, Chef. Make up your mind, Chef.
Tired of
Oh,
that.
you're getting tired. You want to start laying down, buttonhead?
It was a casting choice designed to give Bob Denver more exposure prior to the launch of Gilligan's Island. Next up, at number 12, it's Jackie Coogan. Coogan had been a successful child actor. However, as an adult, he would become best known as Uncle Fester on The Addams Family, but not before making a brief stop in Mayberry to run a con on poor Barney.
Sheriff, what is this, a joke or something?
Number 11, Bill Bixby. Bill Bixby, who starred in The Incredible Hulk and My Favorite Martian, raced into Mayberry in Bailey's Bad Boy.
Yeah, I don't want to miss the fun when my dad sends one of his men down here to straighten you out.
Bixby's good looks and charm were apparent, making it clear why he became a TV leading man. Next, at number 10, it's Jack Albertson. Before winning an Oscar or playing Grandpa Joe in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Albertson showed up in Season 8 playing Aunt Bee's cousin, a globe-trotting millionaire who turns out to be a fraud. Albertson was always great at playing fatherly, charming figures, and this role was no different. Number 9, Sterling Holloway. Sterling Holloway is the unmistakable voice behind Winnie the Pooh, and he appeared in Season 2's The Merchant of Mayberry. When the down-on-his-luck door-to-door salesman has a run-in with Ben Weaver, Andy and the gang rally to his cause.
Yeah, my feet's been troubling me a lot lately, and I got the bursitis in my shoulder from carrying that suitcase around. Got so I can't stand the sound of them doorbells.
Holloway's distinctive voice and quirky personality made him a perfect fit for a character actor role like this, and it's a delight for fans to spot him in live action. Next up at number 8 is everyone's favorite Jeannie, Barbara Eden. Before she was Jeannie in I Dream of Jeannie, Barbara Eden appeared in Season 2's The Manicurist.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Her arrival in Mayberry turns the town upside down. Eden's natural charm was on full display, and her role was so memorable that many fans recall this episode as one of their favorites.
Nature's been good to you. I mean, real good.
At number 7, we have James Best. James Best would go on to play Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane on The Dukes of Hazzard, and he appeared 2 times in Season 1, both times portraying Jim Lindsay, a talented young guitar player. In The Guitar Player, Andy schemes to have the talented guitarist discovered. And then, later that season, in The Guitar Player Returns, Andy helps him get back on his feet after having a falling out with his band.
You know what the guys in the band call this? A set of threads. Yeah, they do.
Next, at number 6, is Jerry Van Dyke. The comedian and brother of Dick Van Dyke appeared in the final episode of Season 5, Banjo-Playing Deputy. Andy offers temporary deputy work to the down-on-his-luck banjo player after closing down a provocative show at the carnival.
Sir, about my back salary, we had a verbal agreement, if you recall, and I certainly thought it would be binding, and I appreciate it. Bye.
In what would appear to be an audition to be Don Knotts' replacement, Jerry's character was never seen again, and Knotts was eventually replaced as deputy by Jack Burns as Deputy Warren Ferguson. Coming in at number 5, we have the Howard family. That's right, Opie's real-life father, Rance Howard, and Ron Howard's younger brother, Clint, both appeared on the show multiple times. Rance, a seasoned character actor in his own right, appeared in multiple supporting roles.
There's some message you want me to give him, why we'll wait.
Playing a G-man, the governor's driver, a townsperson, and bus driver.
Hi, Leon.
And Clint Howard, who has admitted he has no memory of filming the show, appeared in 5 episodes as Little Leon.
No, thank you, Leon.
The peanut butter and jelly sandwich-eating cowboy who always seemed to show up at the most inopportune times. Of course, Clint was soon off to star in his own TV series, sharing the spotlight with a bear in Gentle Ben.
No thanks, Leon. Move along, Leon. Let's keep this area clear. Don't loiter around here.
But on the Andy Griffith Show, A Black Day for Mayberry would be the only episode in which all 3 Howards appeared. At number 4, we have Jamie Farr, known best as Corporal Klinger on the hit TV series MASH. Jamie Farr appeared in Season 6, Episode 23, The Gypsies.
My very good friend Silvio.
As a member of a group of wandering gypsies who put a curse on the town of Mayberry. Coming in at number 3, we've got Don Rickles. Legendary comedian Don Rickles guest starred in Season 5's The Luck of Newton Monroe.
An opportunity like this doesn't come along every day.
Rickles plays a hapless salesman, bringing his signature sharp wit and comedic energy to the role.
Sheriff, you gave me the confidence I needed. I found out I'm not inept. I'm apt.
Next, at number 2, it's Rob Reiner. Reiner became famous as Meathead Mike Stivic in All in the Family. But early in his career, he appeared in Season 7, Episode 30, Goober's Contest, as a typesetter in Mayberry's local print shop.
Hey, Goober's really got a jackpot prize here. $200. No kidding? Right there.
Before we get to number 1, let's give a quick nod to some other stars who made memorable appearances in Mayberry. First, we have Terry Garr in an uncredited role in Season 8's The Wedding as a customer at Goober's filling station. Desperate for a date, Goober invites her to a swingin' party at Howard's revamped bachelor pad. Next, Ellen Corby, famous as Grandma Walton on The Waltons, portrayed Mert Hubcaps Lesh, the leader of a gang who sold Barney his first car that turned out to be a lemon.
300 easy clams from the sucker of the world.
Let's blow.
Bless you, Jake.
In fact, part of the Lesh gang is another honorable mention, Alan Melvin. Perhaps best known as Sam the Butcher on The Brady Bunch, Melvin showed up no fewer than 8 times in Mayberry in various roles.
Sounds like he's got a lot of spirit. That's what we want.
Western star Lee Van Cleef from Sergio Leone's For a Few Dollars More, starring Clint Eastwood, appears briefly as a purse thief in Banjo-Playing Deputy. In Season 8, in Howard's New Life, Harry Dean Stanton portrays a depressed proprietor of a Caribbean island store. Another member of the 407th to appear in Mayberry was William Christopher, better known as Father Mulcahy. He portrays an IRS agent in Aunt Bee on TV from Season 6, and the youthful Dr. Peterson in Season 7's A New Doctor in Town. Next, in the first episode of Season 8, Opie's first love, Morgan Brittany, best known for Dallas, appears as Opie's crush. And funny man Artie Johnson from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In shows up in Season 2 as a hotel clerk in Andy and Barney in the Big City.
Very interesting.
And finally, our number one celebrity you may not have realized appeared on The Andy Griffith Show.
Here's Johnny.
It's Jack Nicholson. In fact, Jack, one of the greatest actors of all time, showed up twice in Mayberry. First was Season 7, playing a distraught new parent in Opie Finds a Baby.
We've been trying to find him a home.
Well, son, where is he?
And in Season 8, his character is on trial, accused of burglary, in an episode no doubt inspired by 12 Angry Men. Aunt Bee, the juror.
When I got down there, the front door was locked.
Within just a couple years, Jack would skyrocket to stardom with breakout roles in films like Easy Rider and 5 Easy Pieces. And the rest, as they say, is history. But seeing Jack in Mayberry is a true treat for fans of the show. But you may have missed him if you don't watch the color episodes. One of my favorite things about The Andy Griffith Show is the dialogue. There are so many great lines, and I find myself saying them in everyday life. In fact, to make a complete list of great quotes, I think would be impossible. But I tried anyway. Let's count down the top 20 most quotable lines of The Andy Griffith Show.
Welcome to Checkpoint Checkie.
Mayberry's full of unforgettable one-liners from Andy, Opie, Barney, and the rest of the gang. So our main focus will be only on lines fans love to use in everyday life.
More power to you.
In fact, if you're a true Andy Griffith fan, you've probably quoted the show to someone only to be met with a blank stare.
He's a nut.
Most of these iconic lines come from the brilliant writing of Everett Greenbaum and Jim Fritzl.
Now there's bullet maintenance.
Oh, Barney, that's beautiful.
And if we leave out one of your favorites,
Ring-a-ding-ding.
let us know in the comments. Now let's dive in and count them down. Starting off at number 20, we have a line that may not come up often in real life, but it's still a blast to say. Citizens arrest. This gem comes from Season 4, when Gomer hilariously makes Barney write himself a ticket for making an illegal U-turn. Even Barney couldn't resist repeating it.
All nutsy here come running after me screaming, "Citizens arrest! Citizens arrest!"
Next, at 19, it's a phrase used by several characters during moments of frustration. You beat everything, you know that? This showed up in Andy and the New Mayor and in The Haunted House.
You beat everything, you know that.
It's perfect when you don't know what else to say. Coming in at number 18, in Dogs, 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 Barney assures Opie that the stray dogs won't get hit by lightning because they take care of their own. Then he compares them to giraffes who, according to Barney, only look out for number 1.
Boy, giraffes are selfish.
Next up at 17, we have Ernest T. Bass from Mountain Wedding. I'm a little mean, but I make up for it by being real healthy.
I'm a little mean, but I make up for it by being real healthy.
It's a great comeback anytime someone accuses you of being in a bad mood. Of course, that brings us to number 16, also from Mountain Wedding. It's one of Barney's go-to phrases for Ernest T. Bass, or anyone acting a little wild.
I think he's a nut.
Coming in at 15, here's some fatherly advice from Andy given to Opie in Season 2's Barney's Replacement that makes for a great everyday motto. Do a good day's work and act like somebody.
Well, do a good day's work and act like somebody.
Okay, Pa.
I'll see you.
Bye.
Next, at 14, it's a running gag from the Darling episodes, Charlene's famous catchphrase whenever someone suggests a song title. That one makes me cry.
Hey, how about playing Never Hit Your Grandma with a great big stick?
Oh, Dad, that makes me cry.
Our next entry coming in at 13 is from Briscoe Darling in Season 3's The Darlings Are Coming, when Andy disputes Briscoe's claim that he can get guitar and banjo sounds out of his jug. Briscoe's response?
Man's entitled to his opinion.
We get a lot of use out of this one on our Mayberry Man social media accounts whenever we get a negative comment. Next up, coming in at number 12, another gem from Dogs, Dogs, Dogs. If someone's surprised by a thoughtful gesture you've made, just remind them, you're not talking to a jerk, you know.
You're not talking to a jerk, you know.
At number 11, here's the perfect greeting for any occasion, thanks to Daphne the Fun Girl. Hello, doll.
Hello, doll.
Breaking into the top 10, Briscoe Darling strikes again in Mountain Wedding, with this line exhibiting a level of restraint and mercy in dealing with the likes of Ernest T. Bass. Well, we thought about killing him, kinda hated to go that far.
Well, we thought about killing him, kinda hated to go that far.
At number 9, it's Barney's famous mispronunciation that was used in 2 of the Fun Girls episodes. First in Barney Mends a Broken Heart, then again in the Fun Girls. It's therapeutic.
What do I got to?
Because it's therapeutic.
You know that knitters and crocheters seldom have stomach disorders?
No, I know that.
Yeah. It's very therapeutic.
It is.
Next, at number 8, Andy nails Barney's excitement in Season 3's The Bank Job after Barney watches Glenn Ford in a movie called G-Men. Now you're gonna Glenn Ford it all over town.
Now you're gonna Glenn Ford it all over town. You gotta control it, will you, Barn?
Coming in at number 7, this one's for anyone who insists on doing things by the book. From Barney's Replacement, I like to wait for the official verification.
Well, just the same, I'd like to wait for the official verification.
At number 6, here's a line for when you're overworked and underappreciated, straight from Up in Barney's Room. $6 a week, and what do I get? Heartaches, nothing but heartaches.
$6 a week, and what do I get? Heartaches! Nothing but heartaches!
Next, at number 5, we don't want to make a big melange out of it, but it comes from another one of Barney's classic vocabulary blunders.
Oh, we told a few people, but we decided it didn't make sense upsetting folks running around blabbing, making a big melange out of it.
Coming in at number 4, it's the perfect one-liner for almost any occasion. Elmer's famous catchphrase, Shazam!
Shazam! Captain Marvel wouldn't have thought of that, Barney.
Next, number 3 comes from Season 1's Manhunt, another classic moment when Barney's enthusiasm gets the better of him.
Real big! Big! Big, big!
So far, all I know is it's something big.
Oh, big ain't the word for it.
At number 2, if you have a do-it-yourselfer in your life, have this line ready from Andy in Season 4's Bargain Day, just call the man.
Andy, just call the man. Just call the man.
Before we reveal our number 1 pick, let's give a quick nod to some other quotes that just missed our list, our honorable mentions. When you're in a rush and can't entertain a drawn-out chat, there's no better line than this one from Barney.
I ain't got time to stand around here and discuss trivialities.
Thanks to the Darlings, a family of hearty-eating men and delicate women, this one is great at the dinner table, even if it raises a few eyebrows.
Meat!
While beauty may be in the eye of the beholder, you might find yourself tempted to use this line from Barney.
Dogs, nothing but dogs. And if you flew a quail through this room, every woman in it would point.
We all know someone who loves rules, and for them, it's Barney's legendary line that sums it up perfectly.
Now here at The Rock, we have 2 basic rules. We're home.
Someone's shirking their responsibilities at the grill? This Jim from Floyd is ready to go.
Oh, hell! If those hamburgers are ruined, I won't be responsible.
Finally, for those unfortunate culinary disasters at potlucks, from The Pickle Story.
Kerosene?
Precisely.
Now, for the number 1 most quotable line from the Andy Griffith Show, it's none other than Barney's famous catchphrase, nip it in the bud.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Even Floyd got into the act.
Let's hear it! Nip it!
There's one thing a lot of people agree on. It was called The Andy Griffith Show, but the star was Don Knotts. And if you're like me, you can never get enough Barney Fife. Here are some of my favorite Barney Fife moments. It's Barney Fife, everyone's favorite small-town deputy.
Mr. Case,
From undercover assignments, big shot moments, emotional outbursts, and plans that didn't quite go as expected. Today, we're looking back at some of our favorite moments.
Biggest thing ever happened in Mayberry. Real big. Big. Big, big.
And remembering why we love Don Knotts as the one and only Barney Fife. First up, let's dive into Barney the Lawman.
Deputy Barney Fife, reporting for inspection, sir.
There was something hilarious about putting an overconfident yet easily rattled Barney Fife in charge of upholding the law.
Now here at The Rock, we have 2 basic rules.
And he wasn't messing around.
I'm sorry about this, but us lawmen can't take chances.
But Barney, I'm your mother.
He was proactive.
Now, what are your official countermeasures in the event of a 10-12?
He was determined to wipe out moonshiners in and around Mayberry.
The law says if we find a still, it's our duty to bust her up.
And that's what we done. Took a great big axe and pow, pow, pow.
Barney was an expert at going undercover.
Now, what I want to do is to put this $2 right on the horsey's nose.
I'm Mrs. Magruder's cousin, and I'm here to clean for her.
Where's Mrs. Magruder?
She's sick.
What's wrong with her?
Fungus of the knee.
I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth.
He was even willing to put his undercover skills to good use, helping bail out Opie and his friends.
UT Pendyke, DVM. Practice limited to small animals, dogs, cats, birds of all kinds, and small sheep.
It's no doubt public safety was Barney's top priority in Mayberry, and he was always looking to improve Mayberry's law enforcement resources.
Welcome to Checkpoint Checkie.
Even at the risk of his own embarrassment.
You ready? Let her rip.
When trouble was brewing in Mayberry, Barney didn't try to go it alone. He would recruit top deputies to assist him.
Gonna get tough, and then it's gonna get tougher. You're walking down the street. Now, the minute it looks like there's gonna be trouble, we got to nip it! Nip it in the bud! You get that? Let's hear it! Nip it!
Go.
Barney had high standards, taking extra precautions before he would release a criminal back onto the streets of Mayberry.
He don't look too steady to me. I don't think he's sober.
Well, he's all right.
Well, I think we ought to make him take a sobriety test.
Turn, Ange.
Slow it down and let me in, or I'll go out and get some gin.
Now, come down! Close your eyes. And bring your hands together and touch your fingertips. Got that? All right, let's see you do it.
But despite all of Barney's enthusiasm, his lawman skills would often come up short, leading to some of our favorite moments.
These babies can go off. Now, gentlemen, I give you science in action. Proof positive. The camera does not lie. It sees all, tells all. There is your criminal. Now, Abel there's a small man, whereas Baker and Charlie...
The coast is clear.
For better or worse, Barney took his duties as deputy sheriff seriously, but it was his all-too-human flaws that gave us so many of our best laughs.
Any old tramps down there? I'm down there.
Barney seemed to be an authority on just about everything, including child rearing.
First sign of youngsters going wrong, you got to nip it in the bud.
And when it comes to book smarts, he's absolutely loaded.
There's things right there in that book that I learned that I still remember to this day.
Oh, come on.
To this day. We the people... We the people...
Barney could be a bit gullible at times, leading to some serious predicaments.
Can't expect them to know about a shakedown.
All right, shakedown! Shakedown, let's go, everybody out. Come on, move. Let's go, shakedown time. It's shakedown time for guns and knives.
But Andy did his best to keep old Barn in check.
See that buffalo right there?
Yeah.
Facing the wrong way.
Hey, Andy. The buffalo and this nickel's facing the same way.
Let me see that rear nickel. Now, which way is the buffalo facing on your regular nickel?
Oh, that.
Oh, you see, the buffalo on this rear nickel's facing that way. See that?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be darned. Yeah.
Hey, now mine's facing the same way. Darn you, Andy!
One of our favorite setups for laughs was Barney letting his emotions get the best of him.
All nutsy here come running after me screaming, citizens arrest! Citizens arrest!
Oh, go ahead and tell them and see if we care.
Whoever heard of a room you couldn't cook in anyways? $6 a week and what do I get? Heartaches! Nothing but heartaches!
Turn Leonard Blush back on.
Leonard Blush! Leonard Blush! Is that all you can think about, Leonard Blush?
The dedicated peace officer.
We defy the mafia!
But accidentally drunk Barney was one of our favorite gags.
What still?
Jill Ball.
Barney's tough talk would often give way to sheer panic, delivering some of the biggest laughs in Mayberry.
You're right. This is no place for us. Let's get out of here.
And his low tolerance for shenanigans led to frequent hilarious run-ins with Ernest T. Bass.
You get over here! All right, you stand still, Ernest T. Bass, and that's an order.
If a duck stands still, you can catch him by the bill.
Come on, Phil!
Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies.
You're going right back in that cell.
You're just gonna get right at you.
Oh, no, you ain't. Not this time. All right, reach!
I'm sorry you had to see this, Olive.
All right, come on, move!
Of course, there were many facets to Barney Fife. Barney was multi-talented.
Well, he delivers butter and eggs to the house. Yeah.
He buttered her up and she egged him on.
That's funny. Did you just think of that?
I can't take any credit for it. My mind just works that way.
He was an expert in martial arts.
High and 1, 2.
You want to let loose?
Well, is that all there is to it?
No, you did something wrong.
He was light on his feet.
Just flow with me. Let me guide you into the land of rhythm and pleasure.
You're a good dancer. Very light on your feet.
He was bilingual.
We'll see.
Adios, amigo.
He had musical talent.
Want to hear La Cucaracha?
Barney could write poetry.
Juanita, Juanita, lovely dear Juanita. From your
head down to your feet, there is nothing half so sweet as beautiful Juanita. That's beautiful, Barge.
Folk songs.
Oh my darin', Barney Fife. He's a deadly crime stopper. What a copper, Barney Fife.
And he was a true romantic at heart.
Juanita? Barn. Hi. I just thought I'd be the first to say good morning. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Nita. Juanita.
But his singing talents could be slightly underwhelming.
He's the man I want to marry, the man I want to be the father of my children.
But he can't sing.
Not a lick.
Which led to one of the most memorable moments in the series. Some would say Barney was a bit superstitious.
Henry Bennett In our boat?
Quit rubbing Opie's head.
Winkum, thinkum, notimus rex. Protect us all from the man with the hex.
Henry Bennett, in our boat. You call it superstition, I call it caution.
Well, Barn, we beg to differ. Despite all of Barney's flaws, it was clear that he always had high standards and the best intentions.
All right, Otis. Tit hot! I said tit hot! Stand erect, man. Posture. Come on. Chin in, chest out, hips forward. Suck in that gut.
Barney prided himself on looking sharp. He was never too busy to act as a mentor to Opie.
When you brace yourself for that first punch, you make yourself hard all over, and nothing can hurt you. Let me show you. You hit me right there, just as hard as you can. Well, it won't make a dent. You can't hurt me. Come on, all you got. Come on.
And while Andy's pranks could leave Barney a bit flustered, these memorable moments left us laughing, highlighting the special relationship between these two lifelong friends.
Can't you see they ain't even?
Oh, but dogged, you were right.
I knew it. I told him.
One ear is longer than the other.
Of course, Don Knotts was fantastic, but there are a lot of great episodes where Don Knotts didn't even appear. That's just a testament to the casting and the supporting characters. So we asked you, the fans and our followers, to tell us who your favorite supporting characters were, and the results might surprise you. Keep in mind, my survey did not include Andy, Opie, or Barney. They were listed in the opening credits as the stars, but everybody else was fair game. So let's take a look and see how you ranked the top 10 supporting characters in Mayberry. Everyone knows Barney made us laugh. And Andy gave Mayberry its heart.
But you do believe in Mr. McBeavy?
No. I do believe in Opie.
But what about the rest of the gang? Behind the stars of the Andy Griffith Show was a cast of unforgettable supporting characters who brought warmth, charm, and a whole lot of laughs into our living rooms.
Nip it in the bud! Let's hear it!
So we asked our 50,000 followers to weigh in. Who's your favorite supporting character?
Can you see me?
You voted, and now it's time to count down the top 10 best supporting characters in Mayberry, according to the fans. Making the list at number 10, it's Helen Crump.
Oh, it's old lady Crump.
Romance was always bubbling just beneath the surface for Sheriff Andy Taylor, and it was schoolteacher Helen Crump, introduced in Season 3's Andy Discovers America, who became his most serious love interest.
They're doing it. Be quiet.
Some fans find Helen hot-tempered and a little too quick to judge.
Just who do you think you are, anyway? Mayberry's answer to Cary Grant?
Now, wait a minute.
And of course, she can't cook a leg of lamb, Andy's favorite dish.
You mean you don't know how to cook leg of lamb?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm a terrible cook.
But after appearing in 66 episodes, her loyalty and chemistry with Andy earned her the number 10 spot on our list. At number 9, it's Charlene Darling.
Oh, Paul, can't I even look at the pretty man?
Back in the truck.
Few episodes are as memorable as those featuring the musical Darling family.
Hey, how about playing Never Hit Your Grandma with a great big stick?
Oh, Dad, that makes me cry.
And Charlene, played by Maggie Peterson, was the heart of them.
There is a time for us to wonder when time is young, and so are we.
With her sweet mountain charm and musical numbers with Andy and the real-life Dillards, Charlene struck a chord with fans, landing her at number 9.
Honey, let me be your solid dog.
Coming in at number 8 is Barney's best gal, Thelma Lou.
He's a warm, wonderful person, and I love him dearly, but he can't sing.
You're right.
He's the man I want to marry, the man I want to be the father of my children.
But he can't sing.
Not a lick.
Thelma Lou brought out Barney's romantic side, often giving us a softer view of the bumbling deputy.
Well, you're the only girl for me.
Oh, Barney.
Appearing in 26 episodes, Thelma Lou departed Mayberry after 5 seasons at the same time Don Knotts left the show, only to return for a high school reunion in season 6, the return of Barney Fife, leaving Barney and Mayberry fans heartbroken when we learn Thelma Lou has married someone else.
Andy Taylor, Barney Fife, I'd like you to meet my husband, Gerald Whitfield.
How do you do?
Like I said, you're the cats.
At number 7, it's the patriarch of the Darling family, Briscoe Darling.
Ever since I saw hanging, I've been nervous about wearing one of these things.
Portrayed by Denver Pyle, Briscoe is arguably one of the most quotable supporting characters.
You got time to breathe, you got time for music.
Well, can't you and your boys handle it?
Well, we thought about killing him, kinda hated to go that far.
Boys are talkative today.
They all keyed up. He won ours.
Sure.
More power to you. I wanted to, and away we go.
Rough and hilariously stoic, Briscoe gave us some of the show's most memorable moments.
Bread! Oh, we're known as a family of hearty-eating men and beautiful, delicate women. Taters!
First you take your hair and you yank it around, and then you take your hand and yank it.
Stop that, boy. You want your face to freeze that away.
And Briscoe, your thoughts if someone objects to you being on the list?
Man's entitled to his opinion.
That leads us to another mountain man at number 6, Ernest T. Bass.
Howdy do to you and you. It's me, it's Ernest T.
Played by the brilliant Howard Morris, Ernest T. was wild, unpredictable, and unforgettable.
Who you calling a creep stick?
All that ride, jump in the fire, fire too hot.
From rock throwing to courtship chaos, he stirred up trouble and laughter every time.
Stop that wedding!
Ernest T. only appeared in 5 episodes, but he made a lasting impact, landing him on our list.
All right, you stand still, Ernest T. Bass, and that's an order. If a duck stands still, you can catch him by the bill.
Breaking into our top 5, it's Aunt Bee.
Well, go ahead and taste it.
Well, I don't want to waste it when I'm so full up like this. I think I'll just wait and smoke it after, eat it after.
From the very first episode, The New Housekeeper, Aunt Bee became the beating heart of the Taylor home.
Opie, I want you to change your socks every morning. I want you to brush your teeth, and I want you to wash your hands after every meal and eat all of your Maybe I better not go.
Appearing in 187 of the show's 249 episodes, Aunt Bee brought comfort, warmth, and a touch of sass to Mayberry.
Opie, you can't come to breakfast like that, a naked savage. You go back and put your shirt on.
Whether it was cooking, keeping Opie in line, or going on her own adventures, she was the mother figure we all loved.
Goodbye!
Gonna get tough, and then it's gonna get tougher. There'll be times when you'll think you can't even take it anymore.
Next up, at number 4, it's Goober Pyle.
Goober, do Cary Grant for Andy.
Oh.
Come on, he ain't never heard you.
Oh, Gomer.
Come on, do it, you do it.
Listen, Gomer, if he don't want to.
I'll do it.
Attaboy. Judy. Couldn't you just swear Cary Grant was right here in this room?
Introduced in season 4 as Gomer's cousin, Goober brought a lovable goofiness to Mayberry, just as Gomer would head off to the Marines.
Why, sure is something. Just floats it out there.
Oh, he hit me right in the nose. Hit me right in the nose. Oh, it's bleeding.
How'd you get that car in here?
Well, let me tell you. I just made up my mind to find out what's wrong with it, so I started taking it apart and bringing the parts in here to work on. Before I knew it, there she was.
With his signature hat and mechanical know-how, Goober became a staple of the show, appearing in 86 episodes and even continuing on into Mayberry RFD.
To survive in business, you got to have brains.
Now, coming in at number 3, it's Floyd the Barber.
see that? He's playing my song.
While a different actor portrayed Floyd the first time the character appears, Howard McNear would take over as Floyd in Season 1's Mayberry Goes Hollywood.
I've given more haircuts in this past week than I done since I opened shop. You want to trim, Andy? Come on, Floyd. Finish my Cary Grant.
McNear portrayed Floyd in a total of 80 episodes over the course of 7 seasons.
All I want is this boy to get the truth.
That's a lot of haircuts.
Oh, listen, if I keep this up, I'm liable to end up with a barber's claw.
Season 3's Convicts at Large, arguably one of the most popular episodes of the series, was McNear's last episode before suffering a stroke.
Funny the things you don't know.
Remarkably, in Season 4, McNear returned as Floyd with limited mobility and appeared in 59 more episodes.
Well, I sure want to see that.
We're down to our final 2, and let's just say it was close. Our number 1 barely edged out this next character. Coming in at number 2 is Gomer Pyle.
I did call it Shazam.
Gomer Pyle became an instant fan favorite when he joined the show in Season 3.
Are we gonna get guns? You are? Could get you real good, Otis.
Gomer appeared in 23 episodes of The Andy Griffith Show, including some of the most popular ones, like Citizen's Arrest. Man in a Hurry.
Goober thinks you need a new set of spark plugs.
Well, I'll change them.
They're $1.15 a piece.
Fine, fine.
She's an 8-cylinder. She'll take 8. One for each cylinder.
Go, boy, go, do it.
Barney's first car.
Plugs, points, bearings, valves, rings, starter switch, ignition wires, water pump, fuel pump, oil pump, clutch bearings, clutch plates, brake lining, brake shoes, brake drums, radiator hose, and radiator hose cover. And I'd give her a good wash, too.
Gomer.
And of course, the haunted house.
Where you been? I don't know. I stepped in my closet or something.
He was so beloved, he of course got his own spin-off show, Gomer Pyle USMC, launched by the Season 4 finale of The Andy Griffith Show.
Here's something that'll give a nice ring to your voice. Sing it.
From the halls of my shores of Tripoli.
Now, that brings us to number 1. Topping the list as Mayberry's favorite supporting character is none other than Otis Campbell, the town drunk with a heart of gold.
They know the capture is inevitable, and they just come in and lock themselves up. Back, you savage killer, back!
You're right. I am a killer. I just killed a whole pint.
Otis provided countless laughs in the 32 episodes he appeared in.
Slow it down and let me in, or I'll go out and get some gin.
Now come down!
While his drunkenness would usually lead to a comical complication for Andy and Barney.
Otis Campbell, this is your subconscious. Come in, please.
What do you want?
Where's the stiff?
Otis could also bring heart to a story.
You're walking down the street.
What'd you do that for, Barn?
It's said that the disappearance of Otis from Mayberry in later seasons was due to sponsor concerns over the show's portrayal of excessive drinking. That's certainly plausible. Otis's final appearance was in a color episode entitled Otis the Deputy that featured Otis not only as a drunk, but also taking up arms to rescue Andy, who was being held hostage by bank robbers.
Here's your gun all loaded. Otis, let's go and don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes.
Could that have been the last straw for sponsors? It's hard to say, but we do know that Otis ranked number 1 on our list of favorite supporting characters.
Gin? Thank you. Don't mind if I do.
Oh, shut up, Otis, and keep your opinions to yourself.
So what is it about the Andy Griffith Show that keeps us coming back over and over again? I mean, it's been running continuously on the air for over 60 years, and there's no stopping it, right? So let's take a closer look at the ingredients of the perfect television show. We all love watching The Andy Griffith Show, right?
All right, 3, watch it.
But have you ever stopped to think about why we love it so much? Is it the heartwarming lessons, the unforgettable characters, or something hidden beneath the surface?
There are forces in the atmosphere that are able to control our fate.
In this video, we'll reveal the surprising secrets behind its lasting appeal. And by the end, you just might see the Andy Griffith Show in a whole new light.
Can you see me?
Number 1. Timeless values.
For doing such a beautiful job of this here pageant and for just behaving beautifully through the whole thing, I crown thee Miss Mayberry.
At its core, the Andy Griffith Show emphasizes values like honesty, compassion, and integrity. These principles are woven into the stories in a way that feels genuine, not preachy.
Oh, but Andy, this silver hat and the jingling and the smoke from the ears, what about all that?
I guess it's a time like this when you're asked to believe something that just don't seem possible. That's the moment that decides whether you got faith in somebody or not.
But you do believe in Mr. McBeevy?
No. I do believe in Opie.
Andy often serves as a moral compass, using his wisdom to guide not only his son, Opie, but also the townsfolk of Mayberry.
And we didn't make any of it up. It's all the things that people really said.
Well, just because somebody said something doesn't mean it has to be printed. You don't circulate stories that are mean and unkind about people. There are too many other stories to put in, nice stories.
But Paul, when we put in the nice kind of stories, nobody wanted to buy the paper.
These values transcend generations, making the show resonate as strongly today as it did when it first aired.
Cage sure looks awful empty, don't it, Pa?
Yes, son, it sure does. But don't the trees seem nice and full?
Hazel?
Number 2. Relatable and endearing characters.
Time we greet thee in song.
The characters in Mayberry are more than just archetypes. They feel like real people.
Go, Barney. It's your move.
No. He doesn't like to be rushed.
That's right. Don't rush me. Just don't rush me.
Andy Taylor is the calm and rational sheriff who balances his duties as a single father with his role as community leader.
Folks, Henry Bennett's going to show us what number he pulled out of the hat. What'd you get, Henry? Number 44?
No, 6 7/8.
Barney Fife, with his overconfidence and endearing vulnerability, adds comedic brilliance.
Jubal.
Okay, Andy, go ahead. Push.
Push?
Yeah. Ha! You see, if you're not familiar with firearms, these babies can go off. Now,
Aunt Bee provides warmth and domestic wisdom.
Oh, Nat Pike is always telling Opie the craziest things. Well, I wouldn't put much stock in what Nat Pike tells you.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, he's only 4 years old.
He may be young, but he's been around plenty.
While Opie represents the innocence and curiosity of childhood.
Forget the part about the half a boy.
It's pretty hard to forget a thing like that, Pa.
Well, try.
Poor Horatio.
Now, look.
The supporting cast, from Floyd the Barber to Gomer Pyle, brings additional depth and charm, making the town feel alive.
You could put a sign in the window saying 2 chairs, no waiting.
And I've got the magazines to swing it.
Citizens riot! Citizens riot! All nutsy here come running after me screaming, Citizens riot! Citizens riot!
Number 3. Nostalgia for simpler times.
Well, me and old Bertie Blush had this 30-cent bet that I couldn't find a trout in that pool. And he says to me, well, there ain't been a trout in there for 50 years. You know how old Bertie talks.
Mayberry is an idyllic small town, untouched by many of the challenges and complications of modern life. There's no hustle and bustle, no big city stress, just a quiet community where everyone knows each other.
Say, I noticed you got a new one in there, too. Huckleberry Smash. God, I would have tried that, but I already had the cap off this Nectarine Crush.
For viewers, Mayberry represents a longing for a time when life felt less chaotic, relationships were closer, and people valued personal connections over material success.
Hi, Bert.
Hey, Barney.
How are you?
Middling.
Middling.
This nostalgia creates a comforting escape. Number 4, gentle humor.
Call for the doctor, call for the nurse, call for the lady with the alligator purse.
The humor in The Andy Griffith Show is kind-hearted and relies on situational comedy, character quirks, and misunderstandings.
I'm a little mean, but I make up for it by being real healthy. Say you'll be mine. Say you'll be my beloved.
I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth.
Barney's over-the-top antics and unintentional blunders provide laugh-out-loud moments.
Now you drop that rock and you get over here! We defy the mafia!
While Andy's dry wit offers subtle, clever humor.
Can't you see they ain't even?
I'll be dogged, you're right.
I knew it! I told him!
One ear is longer than the other.
Episodes often balance comedy with heartfelt moments, ensuring that the humor never undermines the story's warmth.
Nature's been good to you. I mean, real good. I can't remember when I've seen nature spend so much time on any one person.
Number 5, strong sense of community. Mayberry is a town where people care about one another.
Morning, honey.
Honey!
Oh, Sheriff.
Honey!
Whether it's organizing a church picnic or helping a neighbor in need, the residents of Mayberry embody the best aspects of close-knit community. For viewers, this sense of unity and mutual support is aspirational and heartwarming, especially in an increasingly individualistic world. Number 6, exceptional writing and acting.
You just gotta relax and just flow with me. Let me guide you into the land of rhythm and pleasure.
The show's writers excelled at crafting stories that were simple yet profound. Episodes like Opie the Birdman, where Opie learns about responsibility and the consequences of his actions, are both touching and thought-provoking.
I got to thinking last night that since their ma ain't coming back, and since it's my fault, and since just being sorry won't help, I'm gonna take over and feed them.
Well, you are.
Uh-huh. And Pa, there's 3 of them. I call them Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod.
Andy Griffith's natural charisma and Don Knotts' comedic timing elevate the material, making every interaction between the two a joy to watch. The supporting cast also brings depth and authenticity to their roles, ensuring the town feels real.
Hey, Sheriff, if you fill it up with water, you can take a bath along the way.
I guess so, Jace.
You ready?
Let her rip.
Go, Goob. Judy. Couldn't you just swear Cary Grant was right here in this room?
Yeah, that was good, Goober.
That sure was, Goob. You gotta show me how you do that. Judy. I can't do it. Judy. Oh, God, how you can do that.
Number 7, universal appeal. The themes and situations in The Andy Griffith Show are relatable regardless of the era.
Mr. Hollister, our records show that you've never had a tetanus shot.
Young lady, you can put that thing away right now. I ain't never been jabbed, and I ain't fixin' to be. Goodbye.
Problems like parenting challenges, workplace misunderstandings, and the importance of honesty are things everyone can understand.
Well, what about Opie?
3 cents.
3 cents?
Yes. The next lowest was 5 cents given by Roy Pruitt.
Well, he must be kind of tight like Opie.
Well, not exactly. He's one of the underprivileged children.
This universality ensures that the show continues to resonate with new generations of viewers.
Do you see how we've got the criminals around here intimidated? The minute that they commit a crime, they know the capture is inevitable, and they just commit and lock themselves up. Back, you savage killer, back!
You're right. I am a killer. I just killed a whole pint.
Number 8. Multi-generational enjoyment. The show's clean humor and positive messages make it a favorite for families.
Hi, Mrs. Rodenbach.
Hi, Barney. Got a case?
Parents and grandparents often introduce the series to younger family members, creating a shared experience.
I didn't win.
I know you didn't win, but the important thing is you was in there trying. Now that's what's important.
Watching together allows for meaningful conversations about the values portrayed in the show and creates a sense of connection across age groups.
You sure you want to hear this story's history?
For Pete's sake, tell the story.
Number 9. Life lessons.
Who's to say that the boy will be happier your way or mine? Why not let him decide?
No, I'm afraid it don't work that way. You can't let a young'un decide for himself. He'll grab at the first flashy thing with shiny ribbons on it. Then when he finds out there's a hook in it, it's too late.
Each episode of The Andy Griffith Show imparts a gentle lesson.
I'll tell my dad about this, then you'll be sorry.
Oh, go ahead and tell him and see if we care.
In Opie and the Spoiled Kid, Andy teaches Opie the importance of earning what you want, rather than expecting it to be handed to you.
No work, no allowance. Opie, what are you doing now?
I'm crying and I can't stop.
Shame.
These lessons are delivered with humor and warmth, making them accessible and impactful.
Do you know what your sheriff carries in the trunk of his squad car? A shovel and a rake.
Ain't you got a jack?
They leave viewers reflecting on the importance of doing the right thing, even when it's not the easiest choice.
I was satisfied with Mr. Taylor's answers. And, well, I'm voting for Andy.
Number 10. Cultural legacy. The Andy Griffith Show is more than just a TV series. It's a piece of American cultural history.
I never thought our town would come to this. Mayberry. Gateway to danger.
For many fans, it's a connection to their childhood or a way to bond with older family members who grew up watching the show.
You hit me right there, just as hard as you can. You can't hurt me. Come on, all you got. Come on.
Its influence is seen in modern entertainment, with characters and quotes that have become iconic.
Nip it in the bud. First sign of youngsters going wrong, you got to nip it in the bud.
Mayberry itself feels like a symbol of an idealized past, keeping the show alive in the hearts of its fans. As the Andy Griffith Show's lovable but bumbling deputy, Barney Fife brought laughter to living rooms across America with his endless running jokes, from his mishaps with firearms to his expert self-defense techniques. Barney gave us plenty of memorable moments. Today, we're counting down the best Barney Fife running gags that never fail to crack us up. Let's dive in. Coming in at number 10, Barney goes undercover. Or even better, Barney in a dress.
He's shooting. He's actually shooting.
Barney's undercover operations were always hilarious because, let's face it, Barney was terrible at blending in. Whether it was his obvious wigs, silly outfits, or awkward mannerisms, Barney's attempts at undercover work were a recipe for disaster. And every time he dressed up as a woman, it led to TV comedy gold. Next, at number 9, Barney and the unseen Juanita from the diner.
Juanita? Barn.
For all of Barney's romantic bumbling, he maintained an ongoing relationship with the never-seen waitress Juanita. This running gag was hilarious because we never actually met Juanita, but Barney's affection for her was a constant source of comedy.
Nita.
Whether he was singing to her over the phone or trying to land a date, Barney's unseen romance added an extra layer of humor to his character. Number 8, Barney the self-defense expert. Barney Fife was many things, but a martial arts master wasn't one of them. That didn't stop him from claiming otherwise. Barney would often brag about his supposed expertise in self-defense, trying to teach others moves he clearly didn't know how to execute. The bit was such a classic, Andy and Don even reprised it years later on the show Matlock. Whether it was botching a judo throw or awkwardly demonstrating how to subdue a criminal, Barney's self-defense gags were laugh-out-loud funny. Number 7, Barney's trouble with vocabulary.
Didn't make sense upsetting folks running around blabbing, making a big melange out of it.
Whether he was trying to sound smart or just struggling with vocabulary, Barney had a habit of getting words hilariously wrong.
It's very therapeutic. It is.
From therapeutic to moulage to apathy, Barney's mispronunciations were comedy gold.
Kleptomaniacs, they call them.
What?
Kleptomaniacs.
Watching him butcher a word while trying to maintain his serious demeanor was one of those subtle but brilliant recurring jokes that kept us coming back for more. Number 6, disrespected by authorities.
The sheriff's the one I'd like to see.
Poor Barney. He always tried his hardest to be taken seriously by higher-ups, but it rarely went the way he planned.
We'll wait.
Barney was regularly dismissed, scolded, or outright ignored by visiting law enforcement, state officials, and even Andy himself.
Promise me you'll stay away from the prisoners.
Despite his determination to show off his skills, Barney's antics usually backfired, leaving him feeling more deflated than respected. At number 5, we have one of Barney's more dangerous running gags, being captured by escaped criminals.
It's you!
Despite all his big talk, when it came down to it, Barney often found himself at the mercy of the very crooks he was supposed to be arresting. With his usual mix of overconfidence and panic, Barney would get himself into situations where the criminals ended up in control.
This is the winning hand.
Thankfully, Andy was always there to bail him out, but watching Barney try to bluff his way through was endlessly entertaining.
Pudding thing. Ask me again, I'll tell you something.
Number 4, Barney locking himself in jail. You'd think that a deputy sheriff would know how to stay out of a jail cell, but not Barney Fife. Somehow, Barney managed to lock himself inside the very jail he was supposed to be guarding, often with Andy right along with him. Whether it was due to nerves or sheer clumsiness, this gag never failed to get laughs. And let's face it, Mayberry was probably a lot safer with Barney locked up. At number 3, we have Barney's bullet.
There's bullet maintenance.
Oh, Barney, that's beautiful.
As the most well-known running joke on the show, Barney was only allowed to carry one bullet, and he wasn't even allowed to keep it in his gun. Instead, he had to carry it in his shirt pocket. This one bullet was supposed to be a safeguard, but more often than not, it just made things worse. Whether he was fumbling to load it or accidentally discharging it, Barney's bullet created some of the funniest and most tense moments in the series. It perfectly symbolized his well-meaning but bumbling nature as a lawman. And speaking of Barney's bullet, that leads us to number 2, Barney's incompetence with firearms. Every fan of the Andy Griffith Show remembers Barney's gun, or rather, the disasters that followed every time he tried to use it. Whether he was pulling his gun on the wrong person, or accidentally discharging it in the sheriff's office, or even at Andy's house, Barney's negligence was pure comedy gold. Barney's .38 revolver was practically a character in itself.
Mr. Case,
His overly cautious demeanor with it, combined with his constant mishaps, became one of the show's most iconic gags. But don't worry, Andy usually had things under control. Just maybe don't stand too close when Barney's on the job. Before we get to number 1, here are a few running gags that deserve honorable mention. Barney's misspelled surname.
His most capable deputy, Barney Fife.
In Mayberry, even the local newspaper couldn't quite get Barney's last name right. The town press often misspelled his name as Fike, a small but funny dig at Barney's sometimes inflated sense of importance.
For the third time now, you've printed it Fike. F-I-K-E.
It was the kind of simple joke that added to the charm of the show, but for Barney, it was another reason to feel like he wasn't getting the respect he deserved. Andy pranking Barney. One of the best aspects of the relationship between Andy and Barney was Andy's gentle ribbing. He often played pranks on his deputy, taking advantage of Barney's gullibility.
See that buffalo right there?
Yeah.
Facing the wrong way.
These playful pranks added warmth to their friendship, making their dynamic one of the highlights of the show.
Darn you, Andy!
Barney Fife resigns. Barney Fife quitting his job or threatening to quit is another great running joke. Often, when Barney feels underappreciated or embarrassed, he dramatically threatens to quit his position as deputy.
It's my resignation. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
It's usually followed by him storming out in a huff, only to return later when Andy or others convince him he's still needed as Mayberry's deputy. Now, finally, the number 1 Barney Fife running joke, Barney the Know-It-All.
Well, the subconscious tells the truth while you're asleep, see?
One of the best things about Barney Fife was his ability to deliver over-the-top lectures on any subject, especially when he didn't actually know what he was talking about.
We the people...
Nip it in the bud became Barney's catchphrase,
Nip it in the bud!
as he often took pride in what he thought were expert opinions on law enforcement, parenting, history, and just about anything else. Of course, his facts were usually incorrect, but that didn't stop him from going on long-winded rants.
There are forces in the atmosphere that are able to control our fate.
The Andy Griffith Show continues to have a huge following to this day, and many of the fans attend festivals celebrating the Andy Griffith Show. And the biggest one, of course, is in Mount Airy, Andy Griffith's hometown. In fact, it was a trip to this festival that inspired the movie that we made called Mayberry Man. And it features some of the very tribute artists who entertain at the festivals. So here's a little bit more background on Mayberry Man, the movie.
I've been approached with dozens and dozens of ideas for movies. And Mayberry Man resonated with me. Everything the show represented, all the good stuff, the being a better person because you're from Mayberry. And it's the kind of movie I'd like to see. You know, and the wonderful thing about the story of Mayberry Man is it involves the people that come to Mayberry Days and sort of become the characters. To me, it puts a smile on my face. They kill, they knock it dead.
We didn't make this movie in Hollywood. In fact, we made it in small towns in collaboration with actual Mayberry fans. This movie is absolutely free to watch, and I'll tell you where you can see it in just a moment. But first, I wanted to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how we actually got this movie made, and introduce you to some of the wonderful folks who played a part in it, including family members of some of the original cast members, like Don Knotts and Andy Griffith.
Mayberry Man the movie was such a wonderful success. Please join me in supporting this wonderful adventure and journey into more Mayberry for everybody.
So is it really possible to bring back Mayberry and that kind of entertainment? Let's find out.
Speed. Hey, there's a lot of bad hair around here. Just look. I could get him in the barbershop. Boy, I could make a killing.
It's nice out here. Got a parade going on, got floats, got people, got a loaded goat. Got to be real careful walking behind that loaded goat. It kind of unloaded a little bit earlier.
Fried chicken.
I'm Brett Varvel. I play Chris Stone in Mayberry Man. Chris is a stuck-up A-list Hollywood celebrity. He gets sentenced to a week of probation at Mayberry Fest for speeding, and he's descended upon by these fanatics.
Golly! Welcome to Mayberry Fest. Judy. How the hell you do that?
Hey, Barney! Who are you calling a greatster?
Hey, look, a stranger in town. My name's Rick Roberts. I get to play the Barney Fife tribute artist. So I come into the scene and try to get the main character to be more Mayberry-like. And my sidekick is a lot of times Floyd, Alan Newsom.
I'm Floyd the Barber, the tribute artist in Mayberry Man.
Look at that. I've got to go. I'm a tenor in the Mayberry Barbershop Quartet.
I run websites about the Andy Griffith Show. I do a podcast about the Andy Griffith Show. Huge fan. I've been doing Floyd the Barber since 1994 at different Mayberry events. And getting to be Floyd in the movie, I've been preparing for that for 27 years, being a tribute artist. So it was a lot of fun. I had a great time doing it.
My name is Karen Knotts, and I'm the daughter of Don Knotts, who played Barney Fife, of course. You probably can tell the family resemblance, huh?
The daughter of Don Knotts, the lovely Karen Knotts.
In the movie, I play myself. And it's so great that the fans actually were able to participate in the movie. And they were great.
It's about the fans. It's about the fans that come together for a Mayberry festival. And what happens when an outsider who thinks he might be too good for these people shows up. And we kind of show them that Mayberry is a mindset. It's a way of life. It's about being with friends and family and neighbors.
You know, traveling to these Mayberry festivals with my father has really introduced me to this whole idea of the Mayberry spirit, which is kind of the idea that there's a simpler time and a sweeter place, as the old plaque says on the Andy Griffith statue. And it really is that way. You know, you go back to a Mayberry festival and it's like being back in time.
Mayberry isn't just a place. It's a state of mind. It's in Georgia, it's in Indiana. Heck, it's even in California.
You know, sometimes the fans are concerned that Mayberry Man is kind of a redo of the Andy Griffith Show. It's not. It's an homage to the old show. It is a way of bringing that Mayberry spirit back to life in a contemporary story.
Hey, have you ever been over to the courthouse?
No.
Oh, you want to see that? Oh, it's just like the real set. Oh, it's real. I'll go with you.
Mayberry Man is not a remake of the Andy Griffith Show. It's a tribute to the Andy Griffith Show and the fans that love the show that go to the Mayberry events that are held throughout the country. And this is a real tribute to that, to show what it's like, that wholesome values that the Andy Griffith Show had. You could never recreate the Andy Griffith Show. Not with the Don Knotts and Andy. It could just never be done.
But it builds on the feelings that you have when you watch the Andy Griffith Show, of family, of friendship, of community.
Mayberry Man is kind of a way to keep the Mayberry legend going.
And it's just so much fun. The fans are so much a part of it. The extras, people donated props, everything they could to make it more authentic, including the towns that we shot in. So if you're a fan of the show, the Andy Griffith Show, you're gonna find this to be super exciting, and it'll kind of bridge the gap between what happened back then and where we are today.
Soft sticks.
Sorry, I broke your heart, mother.
Here's one of our savage killers now.
The theme is definitely similar to the Andy Griffith Show. The dialogue, the words that are said, fans of the show are gonna hear these words and go, that sounds really familiar.
This has all been officially approved by the Greater Mayberry Historical Society and Tourist Bureau.
Greater Mayberry Historical Society and Tourist Bureau.
Limited.
Here we have an exact replica of the Mayberry Courthouse, made possible by the Greater Mayberry Historical Society and Tourist Bureau.
Hey, limited.
Limited, that's a good one.
They're not the exact words from the show, but the feeling that you get from the Andy Griffith Show is there, and you're definitely going to experience that.
Making Mayberry Man was really a lot like an episode of the Andy Griffith Show. We really needed the whole community to come together, and we really relied on the Mayberry family. And so our goal was to really make it an experience and to let them come along for the ride and let them behind the scenes and be a part of the process.
The chance to participate in the Mayberry Man movie as a fan is probably one of the most exciting things that could ever happen.
Mayberry Man is like a dream come true for Mayberry fans like me.
And all the characters and actors, they're just absolutely great.
Everyone in the town came out to watch us film and just to see the behind the scenes, just to be a part of something that they knew was going to be special.
We had volunteers that stepped in and they brought so much to the whole experience, and it was really like camp.
I can't get a word out of this man.
I've been part of the production for 5 days, and I'm exhausted, and I'm happy, and this is probably one of the best times I've had.
It is a lot of work. There's part of it that's a lot of standing around waiting, but when we work hard. I'm doing it for the love. I'm getting paid absolutely nothing, but you know what? I wouldn't change that for anything.
I was thinking about my dad and how much he would like this or what he would think of all of this, and I think he would be blown away. And especially to see how this band of filmmakers who started from nothing, with all of the fans pitching in and helping out, people using Kickstarter, people contributing a few dollars here and there, and the governor and the mayor and all these people just bringing their heart and soul into the project, getting that going, I think he would be absolutely amazed.
People don't realize I've been in this business for what? Well, I've been in big time show business for 5-6 weeks, but prior to that, I spent 50 years in the business, starting, with doing guest shots on Carol Burnett and 3 other television series. And all that time, I didn't think Hollywood realized how great these shows like Lauren Pyle and Andy Griffith were really appealing to the masses. They won very few Emmy Awards, although they were always #1 and #2 in their Nielsen ratings. So I know that having been all over the United States and Canada and elsewhere, that these shows were very, very important to all of America. So I guarantee this, if you love the Andy Griffith Show, you're gonna love Mayberry Man.
I've always wanted to be a part of a film that I would be proud to show my daughter, and it's a very family-friendly film, and it's a lot of fun. It brings home that Mayberry spirit.
Scene 78, take 1. Hey, Mark. Speed. Hollywood isn't going to let you onto their set. They're not going to cast you in a speaking part. They're not going to let you be an extra. But we were able to do that, and it was kind of crazy to think that it would work, but it did. And that is because Mayberry fans are Mayberry citizens. They live it every day. This is who they are. They were able to step onto set and bring it to life. And we couldn't have made this movie without the fans.
One of our best lines, you should hear it. Oh, he delivered. It's like Gone with the Wind. Just give him an example.
It's real!
Oh, yeah! That was a good one there.
It's real!
Mayberry Man is a story that I think everyone will love. And for me, as a fan of the Andy Griffith Show and a fan of Mayberry, one of the most exciting things I think is for people who don't really know about Mayberry to get a chance to know what Mayberry is like.
Speed, 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 that's all he does. Speed, speed, speed. There's been this resurgence of love for Mayberry, and it's just grown. It's grown because there's such a need for this kind of entertainment that is so clean and fun and real and reflective of the hometown that people love. And so these filmmakers have taken all of that, and they've taken the characters and they've made another level of it, but without infringing on the original show, because they focus on the tribute artists, which is brilliant. And the people are turning out in droves for it. So now they finally have a movie that's new and that they can continue on enjoying all of these wonderful things.
If you are a fan of the Andy Griffith Show, you're gonna love Mayberry Man, because it is an homage to that show.
I believe it's for fans of the Andy Griffith Show. They're going to love it. But I really believe other people will enjoy this as well. This is a great story.
If you want a good family-friendly movie that's a fun comedy with a little bit of romance and a whole lot of Andy Griffith fun, you're just going to love Mayberry Man.
And cut. The Mayberry Man movie turned out to be such a huge success, we then spun it off into a TV series, which is now streaming. The series features Karen Knotts in a regular role and a special appearance by our old friend Ronnie Shell. Okay, let's get back to the Andy Griffith Show. I find the Barney Fife character to be pretty fascinating, and so I decided to ask AI to take a deeper look into the psyche of Barney Fife. So here's what our AI psychologist has to say about the psychology of Barney Fife.
In a jailhouse down in Dixie, fighting crime and risking life, dwelt a sheriff and his buddy, pistol packing Barney Fife.
In the tranquil heart of Mayberry, one man defies explanation. A deputy named Barney Fife, whose trembling hands and solitary bullet weave a mystery. Is he a bumbling fool or a hidden hero? Does fear bind him or does courage set him free?
You hit me right there, just as hard as you can. Now, you can't hurt me. Come on, all you got, come on.
Is his behavior irrational or simply misunderstood?
All right, shake down! Shake down! Let's go, everybody out! Come on, move! Let's go, shake down time! It's shake down time!
Step into the enigmatic mind of this peculiar lawman, where shadows and truths collide. Picture Barney Fife, portrayed with unearthly precision by Don Knotts. A deputy whose jittery gestures and gleaming badge conceal a profound riddle. He stumbles, yet strives. He quakes, yet persists. What drives this paradox of a man, whose every misstep hints at a deeper force? Prepare for a strange journey into his soul.
I'm Mrs. Magruder's cousin. Back, you savage killer, back! U.T. Pendyke, DVM.
Barney's heart races with anxiety, a tempest that fuels his frantic orders to halt minor wrongs.
What are you doing?
I'm writing you out a ticket, that's what I'm doing.
A ticket for what?
For littering. I'm giving you a ticket for committing a 9/11.
Oh, come on, Barn.
Well, I tell you, Eddie, I let you do 40 today, you do 45 tomorrow. I let you do 45 tomorrow, you do 50 the day after that. You do 50 the day after that, you do 55 the day after that.
Science calls this neuroticism, an exaggerated fear of chaos, where small faults loom large. At its root lies an inferiority complex, a belief he's unworthy of his badge. His bold boasts and rigid stance mask doubt, a desperate plea for respect.
This is a hick town, and I'm a hick deputy doing a hick job in a hick jail.
Sheriff tells me you decided not to make a melange.
Melange? It's you!
I'll get you for this, deputy.
But if fear grips him, what keeps him charging forward?
All right, reach!
I'm sorry you had to see this, Olive.
All right, come on, move! Move! Out that door there, come on! And 1, 2.
You want to let loose? Well, is that all there is to it?
No, you did something wrong.
Barney orbits Sheriff Andy Taylor, a steady presence who highlights his chaos. Barney craves approval, a sign of insecure attachment, where his worth depends on another's praise. His single bullet, kept in his shirt pocket, symbolizes fragile control. Yet, here's the contradiction. Does this need weaken him or forge a hidden strength?
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
To understand this dependency, we may need to look further back, into the wounds that shaped him long before the badge.
We the people. We the people.
Hints of Barney's past peek through his muddled school recitations, delivered with dramatic flair. They suggest a childhood marked by criticism.
I heard you were kind of sensitive.
Sensitive? Me? Sensitive?
Barn.
Boy, that's a nice thing to get started around.
If there's anything that upsets me, it's having people say I'm sensitive. There's one thing I'm not, sensitive.
This early wound, the fear of being overlooked, may explain his touchiness and need for recognition. But why chase the spotlight, risking failure? Is it pain driving him or hope for redemption?
Now, Abel there's a small man, whereas Baker and Charlie... Now, what are your official countermeasures in the event of a 10-12?
Despite his flaws, Barney's tenacity shines through.
We defy the mafia!
His clumsy but earnest efforts to protect Mayberry reflect conscientiousness, a sacred sense of duty.
Barney, come out here. I want to tell you something.
Deputy Barney Fife, report for inspection, sir.
His loyalty to the sheriff and Mayberry stands firm. In fact, approval isn't his weakness, it's his fuel.
Welcome to Checkpoint Chicky.
But does this loyalty lift him up or pull him into chaos?
All nutsy here come running after me screaming, citizens arrest! Citizens arrest!
Hold it down.
Barney's social world brims with tension. His defensiveness points to social anxiety, fear of looking foolish.
That's beautiful, Barney.
His trusting nature, though charming, reveals low self-confidence. He often believes flattery without question.
Barney, you did it! You did it! I declare you a regular Daniel Boone. Here.
Yeah, I told you, didn't I?
But this gullibility might not be naivete. It could reflect a kind heart. And still, he tries again after every blunder. Is it growth or fear of being left behind?
You ready? Let her rip.
Perhaps his greatest struggle isn't with others, but with the belief that he belongs.
Now here at The Rock, we have two basic rules.
Barney embodies a baffling duality, fool and champion. His anxiety, gullibility, and need for praise spark his stumbles, yet ignite his courage.
Mayberry. Gateway to danger.
His lone bullet mirrors a spirit both fragile and fierce. Is he just Mayberry's oddity? Or does his psyche reflect our own battles? Fearful, hopeful, human.
You'll be sorry about this. I said get. A lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. You just wait and see. Get.
Barney Fife remains a singular marvel. Shaky yet strong, gullible yet noble, a failure turned hero. His jitters, trust, and loyalty blend into a strange human alchemy only ever found in Mayberry.
In a moment, we're going to test your knowledge of the Andy Griffith Show, but before we do that, I also wanted to look at some of the more controversial aspects of the Andy Griffith Show. Now, I know there can't be much, right? But it was a different era with different standards, so let's take a closer look at the more provocative aspects of the Andy Griffith Show. Get ready as we look at the top 10 most provocative moments of the Andy Griffith Show. I know what you're thinking. How could anything in Mayberry be provocative? Well, from moral dilemmas to shocking secrets, we're counting down the top 10 most provocative moments of the Andy Griffith Show. Buckle up, because this wholesome classic pushed more boundaries than you might think. Let's count them down. At number 10, we've got Opie, America's favorite little redhead. While Opie's adventures usually taught wholesome lessons, some of his experiences ventured into surprisingly serious territory, especially for a family-friendly sitcom. Take, for instance, the memorable episode where Opie accidentally kills a mother bird with his slingshot.
Please, why would I?
It led to deep conversations about guilt, death, and the consequences of our actions. It's hard to imagine many shows in the early 60s directly addressing such heavy emotional themes. The heart-to-heart between Andy and Opie forced kids and their parents to think about how to handle making serious mistakes and how we learn to deal with loss and responsibility. Dark stuff, right? But also a testament to how the Andy Griffith Show wasn't afraid to tackle life's tougher lessons, even in small-town Mayberry. Next up, at number 9, let's talk about the women of Mayberry. Sure, on the surface, characters like Ellie Walker and Helen Crump seem to fit the mold of supporting female roles, but look closer and you'll see that they were quietly challenging gender norms. Ellie wasn't just Sheriff Taylor's love interest, she was the town pharmacist, a career woman in a time when most female TV characters were confined to being housewives. She was outspoken, strong-willed, and didn't back down. Not even to the sheriff himself. And then there's Helen Crump, a school teacher who wasn't just there to sweeten Andy's love life, but someone who had a firm hand and stood on her own, all while challenging Mayberry's small-town mindset. For the early 60s, these women were more than just background characters. They quietly pushed against the boundaries of what women were expected to be on television. Even in Mayberry, women could be both nurturing and independent. So let's talk about Barney Fife. We can't talk about provocative moments without mentioning his romantic pursuits. Coming in at number 8 is Barney's relentless pursuit of Thelma Lou. And let's not forget about Juanita, the unseen waitress at the diner that Barney was constantly flirting with over the phone. While Barney's charm and bumbling ways were always part of the joke, looking back, his approach to romance seems a little forward. Barney was persistent, to say the least, and at times his over-the-top flirting was more pushy than playful. What seemed innocent back in the day might now raise eyebrows, especially in a modern context where we have a better understanding of boundaries. But Barney's antics are a classic example of how the comedic sensibilities of the 1960s could sometimes cross the line in today's world. At number 7, we venture into more serious territory. The Andy Griffith Show aired during the 1960s, a decade marked by the civil rights movement and a nationwide conversation about race. But in Mayberry, the topic of race was largely missing. For a show that depicted everyday life, the absence of African American characters and any discussion of the civil rights struggles happening across the country was striking. While crowd scenes occasionally included people of color, it wasn't until Opie's piano lesson in season 7 that a person of color was given a speaking role.
Sheriff Taylor, I'm Flip Conroy.
In that episode, Flip Conroy, a former pro football player, returns to Mayberry and offers to coach Opie's football team. The provocative moment comes when he confronts Andy about a parenting decision and then drives his point home by playing a stunning piece of classical music on the piano, challenging the small-town sheriff's assumptions. For a show so deeply rooted in Americana, the silence around race feels noticeable, raising questions about whether Mayberry was intentionally avoiding these tough conversations. Coming in at number 6, we've got one of Andy's most defining traits as a sheriff, his decision not to carry a gun. In a time when law enforcement on TV was often portrayed as tough and armed to the teeth, Andy Taylor's approach was a departure from the norm. He preferred to rely on his words and wisdom rather than a weapon to solve problems. While this was a refreshing take on leadership and power, it was also a radical choice for a law enforcement officer in the 60s. Can a sheriff truly be effective without a gun? Andy believed in a different kind of strength, but this choice surely raised eyebrows, both in Mayberry and with viewers at home. At number 5, we're asking the question, was Sheriff Taylor too soft? Throughout the series, there were plenty of times when Andy bent the rules or let someone off with just a warning, especially when it came to the town's lovable misfit Otis, or his bumbling deputy Barney. Andy's justice was homespun and personal, but some might argue that it was also selective. For some, this approach was refreshing. Andy's wisdom and empathy made him a beloved figure, but others might say his form of justice didn't always follow the law to the letter. Did Sheriff Taylor have too much leeway in Mayberry? What do you think? At number 4, let's talk about Andy's love life. The sheriff may have been the strong, silent type, but there was plenty of romance in Mayberry. From Ellie Walker, the pharmacist, to schoolteacher Helen Crump, Andy wasn't exactly shy about mixing business with pleasure. While these relationships were pretty tame by today's standards, they were notable for the time. The question is, though, should a sheriff be dating women who were often intertwined with his professional life? These romances sometimes caused tension, adding a layer of drama to the otherwise peaceful town of Mayberry. At number 3, we've got Andy Taylor as a widowed sheriff raising his son Opie on his own, a rarity at the time. The portrayal of a single father as the head of a stable, nurturing household was unconventional in the early 1960s, when most family sitcoms centered around traditional two-parent households. Of course, Aunt Bee performed the traditional tasks assumed by TV moms of the era, but the show subtly challenged societal norms by depicting Andy's ability to successfully balance his demanding job with raising a child, without the typical nuclear family setup. Andy was hands-on, providing Opie with moral guidance while keeping a calm, fatherly presence, proving that a household could thrive with a single parent at its helm. And at number 2, we have Mayberry's town drunk, Otis. Now, we love Otis, but let's face it, the idea of making alcoholism funny could be seen as controversial. Otis would lock himself in jail after a bender, and everyone just accepted it as part of life. Otis was a lovable character, but his portrayal might make modern viewers wonder, was Mayberry turning a blind eye to a more serious issue? In many ways, Otis's lighthearted treatment on the show reflected a broader cultural attitude of the time, where alcohol dependence was often swept under the rug. While his antics made us laugh, they also left a lingering question. Should the town have done more to help Otis rather than treat his drinking as a joke? Before we get to number 1, here are a few provocative moments that earned honorable mention. Marijuana in Mayberry. One of the more surprising moments on the Andy Griffith Show is when Barney suspects a local farmer might be growing marijuana.
Marijuana or some other illegal crop.
The very mention of marijuana was a bold move for a family-friendly 1960s show. While the episode ends in a humorous misunderstanding, the fact that the show briefly touched on such a controversial topic added an unexpected layer to Mayberry's wholesome image. For viewers at the time, this playful nod to a larger societal issue was both surprising and daring for its time. Accidental intoxication. Several episodes featured characters accidentally getting drunk, with Barney often falling victim to an unexpected drink. However, one of the more memorable moments involved Aunt Bee and her friends becoming unintentionally tipsy after trying a traveling medicine man's Indian elixir. This led to some comical scenes of the usually proper women in a less than sober state. These moments were funny, but also pushed boundaries, as the lighthearted portrayal of accidental intoxication brought an edgy twist to Mayberry's typically innocent atmosphere. Andy's lying. Andy Taylor, usually known for his honesty and wisdom, had a habit of bending the truth. Most of the time, his lies were harmless and meant to spare Barney's feelings or cover for his mistakes. But occasionally, Andy lied just to avoid difficult conversations, showing that even the beloved sheriff wasn't perfect. These little fibs, while never malicious, added complexity to his character and stood out in a show that often centered on moral integrity. It showed that even in Mayberry, things weren't always black and white. Now, here's the number 1 most provocative moment in Mayberry. Deputy Barney Fife and his loaded gun. Let's be honest, Barney's gun was practically a character in itself, and it almost always led to chaos. Barney's clumsy handling of his firearm was hilarious to audiences back then, but it's a lot more unsettling when you think about it today. Barney was only allowed 1 bullet, which he famously kept in his shirt pocket. Whenever he tried to load it into his revolver, things rarely went smoothly, leading to misfires or other comic mishaps. But imagine someone waving around a gun in today's world. It's not just comedic, it's nerve-wracking. In fact, the show often used this gag to highlight the contrast between Barney's overzealous nature and Andy's calm, collected approach to law enforcement. The show poked fun at Barney's incompetence, but this recurring joke also raised questions about the balance between authority and responsibility. Should a deputy who's clearly unfit to handle a weapon be trusted with one, even in Mayberry? It was a provocative yet lighthearted way to examine the issue of gun safety long before it became a hot topic in modern culture. Okay, it's time to test your knowledge of the Andy Griffith Show. And before we play our quiz, I do want to share with you that we post trivia questions several times a week on our YouTube community tab. And so if you're a subscriber, that should show up in your feed. There's trivia questions. And if you're not, be sure to subscribe. The community tab is also called posts. So if you click on post, you'll see our trivia questions along with other interesting posts and pictures and surveys and things like that. All right, let's go into our season 1 trivia challenge.
Deputy Barney Fife, report for inspection, sir.
How well do you know The Andy Griffith Show? Let's find out. This is our trivia challenge for season 1. 32 episodes, 32 questions. Let's get started. In The New Housekeeper, other than sheriff and deputy sheriff, what relationship is established between Andy Taylor and Barney Fife?
And you come to the fair, the just and the honest conclusion that I was the best suited for the job. And I want to thank you, Cousin Andy.
You're welcome, Cousin Barney.
Andy and Barney are cousins. In The Manhunt, what tool do the state police use that impresses Sheriff Taylor?
Well, now that's a nice shiny new map there, but it ain't much different than the one we had up there before. Well, now that's a dandy little item there. Look at that. Little button that just sticks there and don't fall off. Dog, we're still using pins.
A map with magnetic buttons. In The Guitar Player, what was the name of the band leader that Andy throws in jail?
Well, look yonder. Bobby Fleet and his band with a beat.
Bobby Fleet. In Ellie Comes to Town, what job brings Ellie to Mayberry?
Oh, and it's nice of you, too, with Fred ailing and everything. Barney, you heard about the new lady druggist coming. Well, this here's her.
Oh, howdy, Doc. Or whatever it is you call yourself.
She's the new druggist. In Irresistible Andy, what does Barney say after Ellie insists that he take her to the church dance on Saturday?
You! Yes. Are you taking anyone to the church dance Saturday?
No.
In that case, I accept your invitation. Thank you.
I just come in here for some foot powder.
I just come in here for some foot powder. In Runaway Kid, what is the runaway boy's name and where is he from?
Yeah, right. It's a runaway boy. Sheriff figures he might have come this far. I ain't seen no strange young'uns, have you?
George Foley from Eastmont.
George Foley from Eastmont. In Andy the Matchmaker, what's Barney's explanation for why he noticed Miss Rosemary's new hat?
Hello, Mr. Fife.
Oh, how do, Miss Rosemary? That's a nice new hat you're wearing there.
I never thought you ever noticed things Body wore, Mr. Fife.
Oh, I'm a trained noticer.
He's a trained noticer. In Opie's charity, how much money does Opie donate to the charity that upsets Andy?
Some of the children have been most generous, giving as much as $1 and $2.
Well, what about Opie?
3 cents.
3 cents?
3 cents. In A Feud is a Feud, what are the names of the 2 feuding families?
Here! Oh! That's the words that hitched them. You better look and find some words to unhitch them right now.
Wakefield and Carter. Great jumping gosh almighty. Now, I don't want no feuding in here.
Wakefield and Carter. In Ellie for Council, what did Hilda May call Barney when she sweet-talked him into signing the petition to allow Ellie to run for council?
She said, Barney?
Yeah.
Honey?
Yeah.
Sugar?
Yeah.
Cream puff.
Cream puff?
That's right, cream puff. Didn't you ever hear of a cream puff before?
Cream puff. In Christmas Story, what song do Andy and Ellie sing together?
Oh, yeah. Remember?
Away in a manger, no crib for...
Away in a Manger. In Stranger in Town, what was the name of the stranger who knew all about Mayberry, and where was he from?
Sheriff. Ed Sawyer, New York.
Ed Sawyer from New York. In Mayberry Goes Hollywood, what is the name of the special haircut Floyd is offering when everyone is getting gussied up for the big Hollywood picture?
I don't know if my fingers are gonna hold out or not after all these haircuts. I've given more haircuts in this past week than I've done since I opened shop. You want to trim, Andy?
Come on, Floyd. Finish my Cary Grant.
Cary Grant. In The Horse Trader, who did Andy say the town's antique cannon belonged to?
That's right. He did charge on horseback, dragging this cannon behind him. you see the initials right there?
Oh, yeah.
See that TR?
Yes.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. In Those Gossipin' Men, what rumor goes around town about a traveling shoe salesman?
Ain't B, you was right about that Finch fella. He's not a shoe salesman at all.
Oh, he isn't?
No, you'll never guess what he really is.
No, but I'm awfully anxious to hear.
Okay, you ready? He's a big, important talent scout from the Manhattan Showtime television program.
He's a talent scout from the Manhattan Showtime television program. In the beauty contest, who does Andy crown Miss Mayberry?
Folks, present to you the most logical choice. I present to you Her Royal Highness Miss Mayberry, Miss Irma Bishop. I crown thee Miss Mayberry.
Irma Bishop. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, click the like button. That'll help more Andy Griffith fans discover our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. Now, let's get back to Mayberry Trivia. In Alcohol and Old Lace, what does Opie think the Morrison sisters' alcohol still is?
Ain't they pretty, Paul?
Yeah, they're nice. The Morrison sisters grow nice flowers.
Yeah, and I know why, too. They got a flower-making machine.
Now, Barney, I believe we'll deputize.
A flower-making machine. In Andy the Marriage Counselor, who is the couple that Andy tries to help?
Better check in there and see if they got any defense against an attack by flying plates.
Flying plates?
Yeah, the Boones. Fred, you and Jenny know you're disturbing the peace again.
Fred and Jenny Boone. In Mayberry on Record, what does Andy tell Barney is so special about a nickel he bought for $10?
Wouldn't surprise me a bit if I was to advertise. I'd get a couple $100.
For a nickel?
Yeah.
How come?
Well, they made a mistake at the mint. Look right here. See that buffalo right there?
Yeah.
Facing the wrong way.
The buffalo is facing the wrong way. And Andy saves Barney's morale. When Hilda Mae tried to cheer up Barney on a date, what did she do that upset him?
And then I made my big mistake. I started running my fingers through his hair and mussed it up. He looked so silly I couldn't help laughing.
She laughed at his messed up hair. In Andy and the Gentleman Crook, what is the name of the Gentleman Crook?
Well, Barney, looks like Mayberry Jail's gonna play host to an outstanding lawbreaker.
Yeah, who?
Did you ever hear of Dan Caldwell?
Dan Caldwell? Gentleman Dan?
Gentleman Dan Caldwell. In Cyrano Andy, what 3 words does Barney want to say to Thelma Lou that he's never said to a girl before?
I never said them 3 words to a girl before, Thelma Lou, but I mean it. You're the cats.
You're the cats. In Andy and Opie Housekeepers, why did Aunt Bee have to leave Andy and Opie alone?
What's the matter, Peg?
It's Maud. She slept with her neck in a crane, the window was open, and she got the bursitis.
Oh, the bursitis. Poor thing. She suffers with it so bad.
Maud had the bursitis. In The New Doctor, what condition does the new doctor diagnose Barney with?
What's the matter?
It's your blood pressure, Mr. Fife.
My blood pressure? Well, what's wrong with it?
Well, it's rather low.
Low? 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 Where did you say low?
Mr. Fife.
Low blood pressure. In A Plaque for Mayberry, who was related to the Revolutionary War hero Nathan Tibbs?
You got the name of the rightful descendant, have you?
We certainly have.
Who's the lucky person?
The name of the rightful descendant of Nathan Tibbs is,
Otis Campbell.
Otis Campbell?
Better than I tell you. Otis Campbell. In The Inspector, why isn't Otis in his jail cell when the inspector arrives?
All right, Otis, let's get locked up. Come on, in the cell.
Oh, now wait a minute, Barney. You can't lock Otis up today. It's his birthday.
But the inspector's coming.
And it's my birthday.
It's his birthday. In Ellie Saves a Female, what's the name of the farm girl that Ellie gives a makeover to?
Oh, that's pretty.
Morning, Ellie.
Oh, hi, Andy.
Well, Frankie Flint, I ain't seen you around town in a long time. How's your pa?
Frankie Flint. In Andy Forecloses, what is the name of the family that Ben Weaver wants to foreclose on?
Well, I got a little business I want you to take care of.
Sure thing, Ben. What is it?
I want you to serve a foreclosure notice on the Scobies.
The Scobies. In Quiet Sam, what illegal crop does Barney suspect Sam Becker may be planting on his farm?
He is planting. But what's he planting?
This time of year, barley, lima beans, maybe.
And or
what?
And marijuana or some other illegal crop.
Marijuana. In Barney Gets His Man, what threat does escaped criminal Eddie Brooke make to Barney?
See, it all happened so fast. He began to...
All right, Brooke, let's get moving.
Good man there, Sheriff.
I'll get you for this, deputy.
I'll get you for this, deputy. In The Guitar Player Returns, why does guitarist Jim Lindsay return to Mayberry?
Mr. Lindsay, I'm sure you know why I'm here.
Well, yes, sir. But if you could just give me a little more time.
I'm sorry, but you're behind 3 payments unless you're prepared to make them. The company wants that car.
Well, yes, sir. But you see, I don't have any money right now. I'm tapped out. I don't have a dime.
He's broke. In Bringing Up Opie, who has a problem with the way Andy is raising Opie?
Andy, you don't want the principal calling every other day, do you?
Well, no.
That jail is just not the best influence for a young'un.
Well...
It's for the boy's own good, Andy.
Aunt B. I hope you enjoyed my deep dive into the Andy Griffith Show, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more stuff just like this, and you can also subscribe to our free newsletter. There'll be a link to that in the description below. Now, click one of the videos on your screen for more of the Andy Griffith Show.